Welcome to another special edition of A Shadow of Islam, True Perspective. In these special editions, we tackle current affairs, things which have come up in debates or just something which has been spoken about in the ministry circles. And what we do is we highlight these hidden agendas, lies and deceits of the Islamic faith and bring them to your attention. Welcome to another special edition of The Shadow of Islam, a True Perspective. In this episode, we are going to have a look at Shabir Ally's last week presentation on his YouTube channel, Let the Qur'an Speak, where Shabir Ally confirms that the Qur'an has errors. Islamic apologists have been preaching that the Qur'an is perfectly preserved since the time of Muhammad. Not a dot, not a mark, not a word has been changed. And here's what the Islam apologists say, and I'm referring to the One Path Network in the episode called How to Prove the Quran Has Been Preserved Accurately. This is what they have to
Every Quran from then until today has been exactly the same, and every Hafidh of the Quran has learned the exact same book by heart. That is a 1400-year mutawatir chain of people who learned the same book from their teachers and taught the same book to their students, which is why until this very day we can open up a copy of the Quran and know with confidence that this is the same special book that was taught by the Prophet himself.
On the 24th of April 2019, Dr. Shabir Ally, in his YouTube channel, Let the Quran Speak, confirms that the Quranic manuscripts are accurate and date back to the time of Prophet Muhammad.
So in short, when we compare those ancient manuscripts with what we are reciting now, we see that our recitation goes back to very early times of the Muslim Empire, and those manuscripts themselves date to the time of the companions of the Prophet, peace be upon him.
Suddenly things seem to change, because in last week's episode, that's just short of a month later, Dr. Shabir Ally on the 19th of May 2020 changes his mind. Is this in line with the Islamic doctrine of abrogation? Or is it in line that finally the truth of the evidence of the research of people such as Dan Brubaker and the team behind Dr. J. Smith has finally come to light and is not being ignored by the Islamic apologists and leaders and imams? What is interesting is Shabir Ally then contradicts the Quran. The Islamic view is that the Quran was revealed in pure Arabic for the understanding of the Arabic world. Yet according to Dr. Shabir Ally, Muslims of Muhammad time did not understand or speak the same Arabic.
There will be a wide variety of spoken languages in the Arab world, to the extent that sometimes the people of one region cannot understand the people of another language. Something like this may have prevailed even within the lifetime of the Prophet Muhammad, on whom be peace. So
the question here is what is in the Quran revealed from Allah to Muhammad? Or is this a confusion and a reinterpretation by the Islamic scholars such as Dr. Shabir Ally? And we did not send any messenger except speaking in the language of his people to state clearly for them. And then in 41:3 it says, a book whose verses have been detailed, an Arabic Quran for the people who know.
Today, most Muslims read the Quran in a text that is referred to as the Egyptian edition of 1924. But this is not the only text of the Quran that is read throughout the world. In North Africa, there is a slightly different text that is based on a slightly different reading.
According to Dr. Shabir Ally, there are more than one Quran available on the market. And this is what people like Harp and J. Smith have been saying for a number of years, where they've shown there are 36 different Arabic Qurans, 94,000 different errors and transmission mistakes in it.
And then, too, in some parts of Africa, there is another reading of the Quran and a matching manuscript that is prevalent. And here, too, we find some slight variations that do not affect Muslim beliefs and do not affect Muslim practices in any significant degree.
So from this clip, we see that Dr. Shabir Ally is very confident that despite there are errors and changes in different Qurans, that there is no actual error in terms of what Muslims believe. One must note that through the work of Dr. Dan Brubaker and Jay Smith and his team, this evidence has been presented to Muslims around the world for a number of years. And in fact, to date, we now have 37 different versions of the Quran, with 93,000 recorded errors, which affect the meaning and phrases and changes what the Quran was or is revealed. So the question is, what is the true Quran? Let's have a look what Surah 43:16 says as an example of these changes. So here we have a comparison between the Hafs and the Raw Quran. The Hafs says, "And they made the angels, those who themselves are slaves of the most gracious, which is Allah, females." But the Ruah Quran says, "And they made the angels who themselves are in the presence of the most gracious, females." The problem here is, are the so-called angels slaves of Allah, or are the angels in the presence of Allah? Remember that the very foundation of Islam is the perfect transmission of the Quran, the perfect memory of science of transmission, the impeccable chains of authority. Let's have a look at another example. Surah 46:15. Here we compare the Hafs and the Al-Dawri Quran, and take note that Al-Dawri has two separate transmissions of the Quran which has been written down. The Hafs says, "And we have enjoined on man to be doing good to his parents," while the Al-Dawri Quran says, "We have enjoined on man beauty to his parents." Now the problem here is our Muslim friends are going to jump up and say, well, you know what I mean? Just apply normal logic and you're going to see that what this should be is that men or boys do good to their parents. And that's fine, I've got no issue with it. The issue lies in with the doctrine of Islam saying that the Quran is perfect. And this shows that there are changes, ad hoc changes, which change the meaning of the Quran. So the underlying foundation of Islam is in question here. Dr. Shabir Ally makes other statements that shatter the very foundation of Islam, which I'll address in the next episode coming up next week. But for now, I want to thank Dr. Jay Smith and his team of researchers for bringing this information to the front. And it's important that we deal with this and bring it to the attention of our Muslim friends. Thank you for listening to this episode of A Shadow of Islam, A True Perspective. If you would like to support the Digging Deeper group of podcasters and YouTubers, please go to www.patreon.com/diggingdeepersa.